John, quit smiling. You look suspicious, but it's good to see you guys. How are you?
How
Pretty
you
good,
doing,
you?
Mitch?
It's been too long. We say that every time, but it's been too long. So we should do this like on a monthly cadence because not only is it good to see you guys, but our topics are always, I don't want to say kooky, but the last one we did, remember with
Out of left
the
field,
yeah, remember well
going with the
the
baseball team.
the killer, the lake Rainey killer.
Yes.
That's not left field. That's pure proven fact. But that's you guys kept making it creepy and taking it to my front door, so I to the point I almost lost sleep a couple nights. But this one, I'm glad to see. I'm not surprised, but I'm glad to see you guys are interested in too because I don't know why it never occurred to us before, to me anyway. But this is like the curiosities, the mysteries of the Grand Canyon, and of course, why not? It's like in the Southwest, out in the desert, perfect, setting for something creepy or something kooky going on.
Right.
Uh, History, like years and years and years. But then I started looking into it. There's all kinds of stories about it.
Oh, yes. And
Oh
it,
I
yeah,
and
know.
it goes all the way back to the late 1800s with odd things happening.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let's start because Brian, you and I were chatting, online, but about the Egyptian connection, which I find fascinating.
Right. Which there was a guy, well, first of all, Teddy Roosevelt, he declared it, was it 1908, to where you couldn't mine or anything like that or do any logging in that area. But
Okay.
prior to that, there was a guy, I've got my notes here, Seth Tanner, who had found a cave. And then years later in 1908, GE, it's Conrad or something like that, or Kincaid.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
went,
1909.
right. And went on to find almost that same cave system in which he described like Egyptian and Tibetan figures, carvings, and then hieroglyphs, and then mummies.
Well, they said he found, and I quote, an underground citadel, which is cool. But and also, guys, don't forget, G.E. Kincaid was sponsored by another one of our favorites, the Smithsonian.
Correct.
Oh yeah. Where
Yeah.
right there, you got to start looking at. Okay, did they do it just so they could cover it up?
Right.
Yeah.
But
Well,
with my looking around in some of this stuff, they said that the entire myth, like the Egyptian um, artifacts and mummies and hieroglyphics, all started from a 1909 article in the Arizona Gazette claiming an
Right.
explorer found a hidden cave.
Right. And then all of a sudden,
But
all
there's
that was
no
denied.
credible archaeological evidence of the cave itself has ever been found to support the story.
But then,
well,
is there
yeah.
is there any stories from the Smithsonian like that are going to be released? We don't know.
Probably not.
That's the point that I was going to make. You guys, it's like, I'm not trying to, to create a story where there's not, but would you expect them to print proof? I mean,
No, it's
just a
almost
Well,
like it's being personally or like on purpose being suppressed from us all.
well, you got to wonder too,
Whatever.
is this all part of the Anastasi
Right.
civilization? Because they were around like a long time out there. They
Right.
said from about 1050 to 1150 AD.
Well, then the Native Americans also had great beliefs about that area being spiritual in a way, with different races and where they came from, like star people. So it kind of leads into that direction as well. So it's
Well, you
very
got to look
sacred to
too.
them.
You look too with the extensive, cave system that they have over there.
Right.
Uh, Talk about a perfect burial ground.
Well, they also said that there's been recorded like over 1,000, if not more, caves that have been reported in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
they literally call it like a second world. It's
Right.
chambers, complexes, networks, and they say networks dug deep. So I think that's important. I don't know if they meant to say that, but it's obviously like human hands, not like
Right.
natural physical, logical hands.
Oh yeah, and
So
when they say dug deep, you're probably talking multiple levels going down.
Right. Well, they
yeah,
described like an underground city, basically. and it went from chamber to chamber to chamber, and even some of them were hidden. And then, if you want to jump forward real quick to 2023, there was an
Ooh,
informant, and I quote informant from the military named JP that also described finding the same things during one of his adventures through the military. You
that's
get
so
what I'm
kooky.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they were sent there for a reason to record and do all of this, and they went into those caves. And there was also sections that were sealed off with concrete. Now, of course, this was an informant. We don't know if we can have anything to back all of this up, but it's
Yeah,
just
but again, yeah, it's one of those things like, every no comment that you get from a ranger or from the military or from officials, it feels less like denial and more like somebody suggesting you're not supposed to be asking us that.
right, right. And then there's also throughout all those years mysterious deaths
Oh
and
yeah.
a lot of people that have been falling or missing and never found. So there's all kinds of stories that are intertwined.
Oh yeah, as far as missing persons, they said there's over 1,000 people have been reported missing in the Grand Canyon, with the
Yep.
majority uh, being falls from heights, dehydration, environmental conditions as causes of death for most of those who go missing. And I guess
Well,
the most recent case is from July of 2025. 35-year-old man from New Jersey by the name of Thomas Gibbs went missing, and the search efforts are still ongoing.
From when?
then you have the ones that are in
From
between that
July
are,
2025.
then you have the ones that are in between taking selfies and fall off a cliff. But
Yeah, they said that's like a
That's
big
all.
thing. That's a lot of them.
yeah.
But this 35-year-old guy, from what I could find online and everything, there's not too much about it, but it seems like he went to investigate the caves.
Okay.
Yeah, the caves.
And it,
But there's
Yeah.
also a lot of stories. I don't know if you guys, noticed or noted, but it was noted in a lot of the research I was doing that, some people who try to go looking for the caves out of nowhere, they get interrupted by black helicopters, black
Yes.
unmarked helicopters, kind of warning them to get the hell out of that area.
Right. And which is called the Forbidden Zone, kind of dubbed that, and it's in the cross path of the Colorado River and the small Colorado River. There's
It makes
like
you
two
wonder though,
river
like,
there's like two river systems there. And
well,
that's
like
apparently where it's located at.
Well, John's,
yeah,
pointed out that that's we understand there's going to be people missing or people, accidents and stuff, but 1,000 seems like quite a lot. And if you're hiking and they're saying there's, forbidden areas that they'll tell you that it's survey work or
Right.
protected area, but with a damn black helicopter come flying in, that's a lot of
yeah.
support to keep you
The
out of
only
us
the
out
only
of
question I have with the black helicopters, I'm not doubting that people are seeing them, is how come there has never been any photographic evidence of any of these black helicopters?
Well, that's very well. Actually, there is because if you look on a show on YouTube that I watch frequently, he showed brief pictures or videos of helicopters flying in that
But
no
was
fly
that over
zone.
the canyon or was that someplace with a similar look?
See, that's the question right there.
Hmm.
well, if it
That's the
matters.
one thing. Hmm.
Don't forget, I mean, well, yeah, I'm not gonna say don't forget, but I did see a few months back, my neighbor, Joe, if you're listening, you're always welcome to stop by. Joe Rogan, he had this, topic on his episode, on his show as well.
Yeah.
They didn't go into, but they also mentioned, they mentioned the black helicopters. I didn't hear them mentioning about the Egyptian thing, which I find fascinating. But because back then that was
Right.
the deal. That was the golden, the holy grail. Everybody
Well,
wanted to discover
it's
hidden
funny because you watched that episode with Joe's, and his the person that was with him in that is also the creators of the Y Files that I watch on that
kooky.
episode.
I'm
So I mean,
surprised you didn't bring up the Egyptian thing.
Well, he did bring it up briefly. There's like segments. You can find segments of it. You don't have to watch the whole show because sometimes they can be He just there's cut down JRE segment shows that they do as well. And but his his uh his guest that time that he was talking about the Grand Canyon was actually the creators of Y-Files and does all of those YouTube videos.
Did they
What is
happen to
it?
go into?
They do
Go
say
ahead.
Go
though,
ahead.
talking about the black helicopters, that airspace over the canyon is carefully managed, and
Yeah.
you would expect it to. And some
Right.
are marked as restricted. But on the ground, when you're hiking, like I say, like just a lonely trail, dark, unmarked helicopter comes up out of nowhere, and it doesn't feel like, safety, your safety or the area's safety is their first priority.
Correct.
But still, it leaves you wondering. It's also if it's also ordinary, like, in one hand it can be, but why? Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but doesn't this feel kind of secretive? Just feels.
Well, see, some of the things that were described that they had seen, like the mummies and things like that, one was described as looking like a Buddhist monk with the crossed legs being carved out. And that's what kind of caught my eye, too. And so they were also saying they looked like Egyptian and Tibetan, but then it wasn't exactly like those two. It was like something in between or something that was much older.
Hmm,
That's interesting.
how old? Like, 0 years old?
See? Now you're going down the rabbit hole.
I know. So, like,
Well,
keeping it kind of
if you
fact-based
have
then.
some type of underground massive city or civilization,
Right.
could be the residents.
Yep. But then it jumps into, if you dig even deeper,
Ooh,
with a small ship that was found through the whistleblower, through the military whistleblower, um, that could only fit a person that was around 4 foot tall.
when was this?
This was from that same guy I was talking about just previously in 2023.
So
He
is he
was describing.
suggesting
He was
like other
describing.
world?
He was describing an, another highly advanced civilization.
There we go. There we go. Now, because you got to admit, and if we're talking about UFOs, is that what we're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, because the Grand Canyon and Area 51 are less than 400 miles apart. I don't know if
Right.
there's a correlation because that's just something I threw out there. But you got to admit, with the big remote areas and like minimal light pollution, and the canyon's rim, and they've seen, like they do in Marfa, Texas, countless strange lights, and
Right.
you put helicopters into the mix, it only adds to the theater, if nothing else. But it's wide open, some of the darkest skies around, no light pollution, so small light, they're small, slow-moving satellites, or let's just say maybe ships can be easily spotted and not
Right.
ignored.
Well, not only that, as a little sidebar there, I was reading that the Grand Canyon, the area around it has the cleanest air on the planet.
No kidding,
And
Did
it's
not know
just
that.
that one area.
because nothing
Huh.
can survive out in the damn heat.
No, that's always a possibility. But like you said, with no light pollution, some of the cleanest air around, it makes you wonder if there's something living in there that maybe they're protecting. That's why they got the zones up that you're not
Well,
allowed to enter. Now they
well,
say it's for safety, they say it's for other reasons, but
but then
you gotta wonder.
they're also saying, well, it's due to because it's due to the Native American Indians too, saying it's sacred ground. They're also throwing that one in too. But did you ever notice? And it sounds kind of weird of the described location of where the cave entrance is.
No.
Well, I noted that down where it says the cave entrance was 2,500 feet above the riverbed, but 1,000 feet below the canyon rim.
Huh?
That is extreme.
So you're
Say
talking like over 3,000 feet.
Yeah. I mean, well, 2,500 feet above the riverbed. That would
Makes
be
it sound like maybe
one.
the river was a little higher at one point.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, look how much it's dug into the ground already over the millions
Yeah.
of years or whatnot. But
Well,
that
going
is
into that deep
extreme.
to the ground too. I mean, look at there's a billion years of history missing from the canyon wall.
There you
Yeah.
go. I was hoping you would use that segue, John. Now give us that detail because you brought it up and Brian and I weren't aware of it.
Okay. They said the Great Unconformity is what it's called, and it was coined by geologist Clarence Dutton in the late 19th century. Uh, and it's one of the most significant geological puzzles of the Grand Canyon, representing over a billion years of Earth's history that appear to be missing from the canyon walls. And they've got some theories, some about global glaciation or continental movement causing this loss, but there's no definitive answer for why so much time is unaccounted for. I mean, that's a large gap in Earth's
That's a
history,
huge gap.
considering,
Yeah.
they're saying Earth is only like 4.2 billion years old, and we're missing 1.2 billion of it in the
Yeah.
canyon wall. What happened? It's like whatever was
That,
there was pulverized and disappeared.
so that I couldn't explain. There's that one's mind-boggling.
But the best part is this boundary. It's 10 to 15 miles of rock that had to be removed.
That's a
That's
lot.
crazy.
So
Yeah, that's
that
crazy.
yeah, that you're basically lifting 10 to 15 miles of ground and goodbye.
And the question is, was it nature or was it something else that removed it for some odd reason?
Could it be nuclear? Who knows?
Who knows?
Something of that magnitude you would think it would need to be.
Yeah, for something that substantial and around that area. I mean, for 15 miles of rock to disappear.
Well, it's all, I mean, from a fact-based standpoint, it does, they do admit openly that there are real tunnels, Grand Canyon caverns, and a real past. And I'm going to give you I'm going to tell you guys like some information, and just to give you an idea of how far back in time we're talking about. This is from the year when John was born. So that's it's good. This there's a
Paleozoic
real
era.
there's a re there's a real underground world just outside the Grand Canyon proper, the Grand Canyon caverns, which is a vast stretch of dry limestone caverns about 210 feet below the surface. I don't say about, but so during this 1962 missile crisis, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the government designated that area as a fallout shelter, and they stocked it with enough supplies for up to 2,000 people, which is first of all, 2000. I mean, but second of all, those provisions are still there, untouched.
Right.
But in July of 1979, part of an experiment from University of New Mexico, they installed deep within those caverns, under the tons of limestone, a telescope, a cosmic ray telescope, which sounds like outer space, but under tons of limestone, that began listening to particles pouring in from outer space, literally cosmic
Oh,
whispering. So it's just like
okay.
what they're talking. It's not science fiction. That's real Cold War history.
Right.
So some of the real Cold War stuff, like I've seen other stories of, I believe it was in Montana or Wyoming, where there's just a giant evacuated airstrip, an old army base, but there's a big steel door, and if of course it's always locked, but it's behind that steel door
I think
again,
that would
hundreds
be
of
a
feet.
good that would be another good show to do is on the caverns and all the semis going in and out of the caverns that are all man-made over in Missouri.
Oh, there too.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Well, if the kooky thing at about the Montana, or it might be Wyoming, I can't recall, but it's they have face masks in there, and I'm not saying it's based in fact. This is a story I saw, but it was for the intent was that people who had gotten burned, like during like a potential nuclear attack, like
Right.
like we've done, you could go in there and get for lack of a better phrase, a new face. And so those masks and stuff, and that lab is still, you know, so many hundred feet below Earth. I wonder how many of this kind of stuff is actually around the United States, you know?
Right. That makes you wonder.
Yeah,
It
All of
really
this
does.
stuff does. We're like
and
Because
we're
I,
getting like almost
you
nowhere
talked
today
about
because
that
it's all
one with
speculation.
the supplies for 2,000 people. I will guarantee those 2,000 people were pre-picked who were going to be there.
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe. Maybe.
yeah, they're called elites.
Okay, so now here's another thing about the Montana places. The story goes that the roof height of these cement underground shelters is only like say 5 feet, maybe less, because it was planned that only kids would be there because by then the parents would have been like vaporized or whatever. But the kids,
Uh,
if they survive, they go to this place and then they wait for a while for everything to get over. Or like I say, if you needed that surgery, but that's all a story. I'll admit freely.
You know what? There's a
the,
video game that goes on a similar tack. It's called
yes, nuke,
Fallout.
nuke. I do you watch the series? Because I do. Have some nuke cola.
Oh wow, really?
Nuka-Cola.
Yep,
There's actually
it,
recipes, so you could actually make it.
Oh,
it's on
gross.
Prime. If you got Prime, it's on there.
You sure it's not Wolf Cola like Always Sunny?
No, it's kind of like a mixture of Dr. Pepper and a couple of other things, and it's actually not that bad. I actually tried some not too long ago.
Hey, buddy. Now you're talking about Texas again because Dr. Pepper was invented right up in Waco.
Oh, and there's
Had to
another
get
one.
that one in there.
There's another old one, Waco.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, uh, are you sure it's pronounced Waco because of all the weird stuff that happens out there?
Wacko,
Yeah.
Wacko.
Hey, keep it up, guys. Keep it up. This is where you guys try to take it home, so I'll get punched by somebody out on the street. But again, it's like, all of this stuff. I mean, we put out a bunch of speculation, which is I don't know how many facts. So we would have to do some real serious deep diving if we want to do a part two and try to put some facts to this. But the
Right.
questions remain. Like, there's hidden tunnels and military science. It's the perfect UFO stage. But it just seems like it's got it all. Like there's fact-based, like between restricted zones, Cold War history, folklore, like between the Egyptian histories, treasure being hidden there that I didn't even touch into, and outlaw legends. But also there's the modern mysteries of UFO sightings and the helicopters and the officials who keep quiet.
And the hieroglyphs, and then all the treasures that were reported down there as well.
Yeah, we touch base on a very real
Oh,
treasure here. I can't remember the guy's name,
and
but
don't forget the cryptid sightings in the Grand Canyon. Supposedly, it's
oh
a Bigfoot.
man, what?
It's supposedly a Bigfoot haven too.
Hey, how far away is Skinwalker Ranch and Blind Frog Ranch
From each other?
from?
Skinwalker's northern Utah. Blind
Okay,
Frog, I believe, is only about 20 or 30 miles south of there.
okay, okay, because those are mesa structures, and then you've got the Grand Canyon that's big structure as well.
Yeah, and I was tempted to head out there soon. Just I mean, I'm not going to go out there now because it's so damn hot, but uh,
It's almost fall.
yeah, easy for you to say. Not
Well,
not
it's finally
Texas. It's
cooled
not.
off here.
Yeah.
It's been in the high 90s and 100s, and we're finally getting to the upper 70s, mid 80s now. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's the best. That's the best this time of year.
so it's getting there for cooling off even more. So that's what I enjoy the most.
Well, we should. I feel like because we've touched on probably well, have we done 5 episodes? Because we touched on the Smithsonian, we touched on
Um,
cryptids, we touched on of the Rainy Lake Killer. We've touched on like almost all of our episodes, but I think
right.
we owe it to our listeners. I think we owe
Yeah,
it
and
to
we had
them.
a couple of paranormal episodes too. So,
And Halloween's coming up, so be ready
We
for
need
another
to do a
one
Halloween
potentially.
episode here. Yeah.
But I also think we should do our own research. If we work independently, if we get, in our spare time, of course, we'll try to come up with some answers to some of these questions that we raised today. Maybe we'll come back with some fact-based.
hey,
Yeah.
maybe we ought to come down there and do a paranormal investigation of your residence. You might find out a couple extra people are there.
Yeah, keep it up, buddy. Keep it up. The only thing that makes me feel okay with that statement is I know I don't have a basement. Otherwise, I'd be down there looking around.
As I always say, I'm more afraid of the living than
Are
I
you
am the
sure you
dead.
don't have a basement?
Damn it, no.
You might have a cave system under there.
Okay, guys.
Exactly.
Well, this has been, I'm not going to walk into it. So this has been fun. And anybody, if you listen to it this long, we will come back ideally with some answers to all these questions. I think we just raised more questions than we provided answers. But I do have one fact-based fact for you. I guess that's fact. The Mitch Wonders merch store is now open. Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
great.
Yeah. It's on mitchwonders.com. If you go in there, there's a definite there's something I think almost for everybody. And I'm gonna go in there later today and make some new stickers too. So there'll be stickers in there too. There's phone covers, there's shirts, there's all kind, and I've got a shirt, John. The theme was with you in mind, so you might want to take a look at it. You'll know it when you see
Uh-oh.
it. You'll know it when you see it. But guys, thank you again for taking some time. It's
Yeah,
always fun when we get together. We'll do our best to make not take so long before
yeah.
another one.
Good to see everybody again.
Take care, guys. We'll see you
All
soon.
right, take care.
Have a good